just to cap off from last week's topic, we're actually in early December, and today is actually the same weather pattern as last Sunday when I filmed it, +3 degrees Celsius, but it actually feels chillier today, so I'm a little bit more bundled up as I go for a bike. Great, so here we are, just trying to enter into topics regarding culture. A lot of the time we talk about cultures, you know, Canadian culture versus Taiwanese culture versus American versus Norwegian, you know, the countries. But then when you narrow it down, it actually we can be more focused and specific, you know. Each provinces in Canada has their distinct culture, as I come to understand. And so in different regions in Taiwan, right? If you're from the capital versus you're from the countryside, from the East Coast versus West Coast, there's distinct cultures from each of the region. And so here we are. What I want to do at this point is actually narrow down even further about specific types of culture. And so, lucky you guys, I actually have somebody who's expert in this particular field, which I would like to do an interview with. So stay tuned. I'll be right back. As you can see from my background, we're actually in a public market in Calgary, Alberta. Now, if some of you have seen the market scene that I've filmed in Istanbul, Turkey, well, here we are. This is another public market, and again, it's one that runs, you know, all year round. What I want to show, as you can see displayed on here, is that there's different kind of food choices, right? You know, the fact that we are in a different geographical region also gives you an idea of the cultural backgrounds and the cultural influences we're influenced by. So, for example, in a public market in Calgary, Alberta, which happens to be a city where many of the immigrants come in because of the job opportunities, and we're talking about immigrants from everywhere in the world, you would actually also get choices from different cuisines. So here's one example. These are the East Indian pakoras. Usually, you know, so what it is it's usually the garbanzo or the chickpea flour, and then there's cauliflower, potato, some onion, some spices, you know. And so what they do is they would make it, you can put it in the oven, or you can heat it up in the skillet for a few minutes, and that would make an excellent appetizer to go with the sauce. Here's another very good example. This is just a very straightforward, simple chickpea salad. Again, garbanzo or chickpea, they're the same thing. And so, you know, it's delicious, but yet filled with nutrition, right? And so those are the things that are available in this very public market. Here's just a third example. Okay, so this is actually a black bean salsa. So you can see there's avocado, tomato, onion, black bean, if I didn't mention that, cilantro, and I'm pretty sure there's gonna be lime. Okay, so this is very much one of the sauces that are very popular for most of the Latin American countries, especially in Mexico. But being in Calgary, Alberta, in a very international scene, you're able to get something like this in a public market. And so, as you can see from the background, we come here because it is one of the more affordable places for regular grocery shopping. But you can also see that there's, you know, the places that sell not only these food, but also bakery. And right behind me, there's even a store where you can get specialty soaps.
or products that would enhance your mood and health. So anyways, this is very much what we're talking about when we talk about culture, right? Being in a public market in this scene has a culture of its own, which is quite different from when you are in downtown Calgary, for example. If you remember when I was talking about downtown Calgary, it is a location where it's filled by the corporations and the tall, glassy buildings, mostly with energy companies. And so that has a very different feel when you're walking in downtown. Whereas if you're walking in a public market like this, you would get people who are, more I would say probably more down to earth, because this is a public market for everybody, who is able to come, who would enjoy coming to a place like that. Whereas downtown scene, that's again a very different feel. So again, that gives you a little bit of the context about what we're talking about cultures, right? Not just the country cultures, but very specific cultures within a city and the different scenes of it. Wonderful. So I'll look forward to having you tune in with my interview with the professional talking about the built-in environment and the culture. See you soon.
Hi everyone, it's Sherry again. So as promised, here I will be interviewing one of the experts to talk about, the different aspects of culture, as we call it, right, within the city. And here I have, we're in Inglewood, one of the most established neighborhood in Calgary, and where we're standing right now. Here is Tom, and he is standing at one of the projects areas that we will ask him to talk a little bit about. He is actually a city planner who specializes in bicycle transportation. So here we go. Hi Tom, thanks for joining us.
Hi.
Anyway, I was introducing the students about the different aspects of culture, specifically, different subsets of culture within the city. And so since you are working on bicycle planning in the city, we would be curious about with your opinions on what it means, with this kind of culture in the city, for example.
Well, I can start talking about what I do for a living. And I work for the city of Calgary in the government, local government, in the transportation department. And I specifically try to make the infrastructure safer and more attractive for people that want to bicycle. And so what we're standing on is our newest project, and it's about to open next week. And it's a new bridge crossing going over the river. It's a key connection between the Inglewood neighborhood, as you mentioned, and kind of the other side of the city across the river. There's actually two rivers to cross by bridge. And so, of course, we want to make all the bridge crossings very safe to bicycle on. And so what we've done in this one is actually take part of the roadway space and make it a bicycle lane. And it's not just a bicycle lane, it's also a bike lane that's protected with the barrier. So we have cars moving faster than people on bike, and so it's good to separate them. And so this is something that I've started working on the last few years, building more and more of these bike lanes that are protected. We sometimes call them cycle tracks. That's a European term. But in any case, they're bike lanes that are protected from a barrier. Yeah, this is exciting because it's going to open up next week, and we'll have another safe connection for people to bicycle. This neighborhood is already pretty bike friendly because it's really close to downtown, and it's very easy to make a connection to get in and around the area. So we think the bike usage will just continue to grow and go up with this project and other improvements that we are doing.
So, having seen and experienced and heard just a little bit of the different subsets of culture within Calgary, as just to recap here, we have seen a little bit of the bike culture, specifically being able to cycle in downtown and in protected bikeways. Had an interview with Tom, who works at the city government specializing in the bicycle infrastructure to make it safer for people who use bicycles as their transportation or for leisure, and also a bit of the cultural scenes from being in a public market. I would welcome you to join me on Thursdays and Fridays from 12 to 1:30 to explore more about the different aspects of what we mean by culture and the variety of it that can happen within the city as much as within the nation, as well as in between the nations. So I look forward to having more discussion with you later on, and take care. Bye.